Hello and welcome to today's video. It's always a privilege and an honor for me to share with you. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 3 ways to recognize religious and self-seeking systems. Stay tuned. If you're landing on this channel for the first time, I welcome you on board. You can help us grow by subscribing or just hit the notification button so you do not miss any of our subsequent videos. You can also share the content with those in your own community if you like it, so you can help us grow in the process. And as you do that, God bless you. The theologies we adhere to have an influence in our interpretation of life and also in our vision of life. They're going to have a great influence in our destinies, in our achievements on earth. And so what we want to do in this video is simply spot some weaknesses that may exist in the theologies that we adhere to so that we can improve our Christian walk. One of those areas we need to improve is to avoid getting trapped in religious and self-seeking systems. The first thing you need to know about a religious and self-seeking system is that instead of pointing you to Jesus, it points you to defend its system of belief. It points you to its own system of belief. This doesn't mean that it doesn't talk about Jesus. Sometimes some of these systems talk a lot about Jesus. However, Jesus is not the point of focus. Rather, the system is the point of focus. And sometimes even the leader in the system is much more important than Jesus himself. And so you find that adherents of this system want to defend their system at all costs, and they always want to promote their system. They always want to show that their system is better than other systems. And so whenever you find a system that talks more about itself, that talks a lot about itself, that does a lot of self-promotion, self-advertisement, instead of talking about Jesus Christ, it is a red flag. It is a sign that there is a problem with that system. The second way to recognize religious and self-seeking systems is that they usually have a centralized form of government. Now, this doesn't mean that if you have a centralized form of government, it's not going to work. However, what happens in this type of religious and self-seeking systems is that they have some sort of dictatorship. A typical example is that they would have probably a headquarters in New York. A branch that is located in Bangladesh would be receiving all decisions from New York. The study material that they use in Bangladesh all come from New York. Despite the fact that the people of New York do not understand the context of those who are in Bangladesh, they are able to generate study resources for those who are in Bangladesh. The problem with this type of organization is that those who are in Bangladesh are not given enough room for the Holy Spirit to operate through them according to their context. And so you have a problem. You always have a system of organization in which decisions are coming from above. Those of the branches who are local would wait for decisions to come from above. They are not able to take initiatives by themselves, or even if they take initiatives, those initiatives are minimal. That type of organization does not give enough room for the Holy Spirit to use people. Instead, you have some form of dictatorship whereby orders always come from the headquarters or from a regional headquarters or from a department. That is simply problematic. You want to be in a system whereby you are able to depend on the Holy Spirit to use you as He wills. Even though we need discipline and some form of organization, we are not to be subjected to human systems, because throughout history, human systems have always proven to be limited. And this leads us to the third point, which is that religious and self-seeking systems always want to organize everything perfectly, or they give too much room. Here we have so many churches today, they want to have a very good music department. Everything has to be perfectly synchronized. Everything is digital. Things have to be so well organized in such a way that everything must work perfectly according to a human standard. And by so doing, the Holy Spirit does not really have room to move through people, because people are always looking at what is not perfect, what is not working, what is lacking. And so people are kind of distracted when they find themselves in such a system. On the other hand, you have systems that give too much freedom in such a way that people just do what they want, when they want, how they want, and then at the end of the day there is no order in the house. A good system would want to maintain a certain form of balance. You want the Holy Spirit to be in control from starting to ending. We know that we are humans. All humans have their own weaknesses, and that sometimes we may get some things wrong. But the objective should be to allow the Holy Spirit to use us as He wills in whatever thing we are doing. And so we do not want systems that are out of balance. We do not want to be too constrained. We also do not want to give too much freedom so that things are done in a disorderly manner. Many times humans think that they can organize things better than the Holy Spirit, but that is not true. We always need to learn how to balance bureaucracy and spiritualism, and only the Holy Spirit can help us to do that. It is my prayer that you learned something from this video that can help you in your own Christian walk. Remember, you can help us by subscribing and sharing the content with those in your own community so you can help us grow in the process. More videos will be uploaded to bring additional clarifications to the Bible and theology. Until then, stay blessed in the Lord.